sometimes negative or discouraging feedback is a motivator. And for someone like me who grew up in Detroit, it's almost always a motivator. Like, you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to figure out like, oh, really? As opposed to like, oh, maybe I can't. I'm usually going to go in the like, oh, really? And I'm going to prove you wrong camp.
Why launch your own fund?
I wanted to invest in the next generation of entrepreneurs. And that's really why not take a CEO job. And I wanted to do it in a way that I thought was unique and different, which is why my own fund. I really saw this gap in the market, which was access to capital, that I thought wasn't being filled by other firms. And a lot of firms have great mission, great values, great people, but it wasn't my mission, my values, and my people. And until that point, I'd only backed founders, supported founders, invested in founders with my own money. And I was ready to be a founder of my own thing, with my own mission, my own values, my own people, in a way that I didn't see existed in the world today.
And so the fund is called Cherry Rock.
Yes.
Why is it called Cherry Rock?
It goes back to my upbringing. My grandmother nicknamed me her cherry pie. When I was growing up, I was 11, I made her a pie. And she is the rock in our family. She's 96 years old and still with us, thank God. And so Cherry Rock Capital is about being the foundation of success for the next generation of entrepreneurs.
How was it going out and raising the capital? What goal did you set? And what was that process like? Because it's not an easy time to raise capital, no matter who you are, even if you're you.
Yeah, it was hard.
Yeah.
And everybody said, this was January 2023. Stacy, this is the hardest time to raise money. You should wait. I'd never done it before. So I didn't know what hard really looked like. And you could argue now might be the hardest time to raise money. So I'm sort of glad that we didn't listen to those people and we did it. But it was hard because I didn't have a team. I co-founded it with Seda Howard, who was at IVP for 9 years. So I brought somebody onto my founding team. She and I went out and raised this fund together. She had an venture experience, having worked as an operations leader at IVP, to complement my lack of venture experience. But still, we didn't have the whole team in place. And people were less interested in investing in first-time fund managers and emerging managers. And so it was a challenge. But bit by bit, we just met people along the way who cared and invested in our success. Very early on, I shared my first pitch deck with someone who's been in investing for decades. And he went through slide by slide and told me all the dumb things that were on the slide, things that I should take out, things that I should add. And he's like, I've raised billions of dollars, and this is how you should position this.
Wow.
And that was so helpful, slide by slide. And so V.1.0 of the deck became version 2.0 because of that person. And we would not have raised $172 million had it not been for his help along the way.
It's so, the contrast here is so interesting because on the one hand, you're getting the advice, Stacy, don't do this now. This is a really hard time. This is a bad time to do it, which in hindsight was probably really bad advice given how hard the market is now, right? So there's a set of lessons there that I'm curious about. But on the flip side, you're getting this other advice about slide by slide, tweaking the deck, editing, making changes, et cetera, which sounds like it turned out to be really good advice. So I mean, lots of questions in there, but I'm curious, how did you know to differentiate between what turned out to be the bad advice and the good advice?
It still goes back to my grandmother. So Grammy always told me that people around you, not everybody's going to like what you're doing. Not everybody's going to support you, but you just have to believe that whatever you're doing is the right thing and you just go do it. And so even as people were saying, it's a bad time, don't do it. And I was like, well, when else am I going to do it? It's kind of now. And so other people showed up, like the person who took me slide by slide and said, okay, fine, you're crazy. But if you want to do it now, I'm going to help. If anybody can do it, you can do it. And I'm going to help you. And so I learned to sort of follow my own North Star. And this goes back to the silent retreat of like being very grounded in what I thought was important and being able to tease out sometimes negative or discouraging feedback is a motivator. And for someone like me who grew up in Detroit, it's almost always a motivator. Like, you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to figure out, like, oh, really? As opposed to like, oh, maybe I can't. I'm usually going to go in the like, oh, really? And I'm going to prove you wrong camp until I realize for myself that I can't do it. And that's kind of what happened in the process of fundraising.